Hello and welcome back to part 2 of our podcast. We're going to keep talking about some scary stories that we've experienced. Got some new people with us this time. Don't say your names. But
fuck y'all.
First thing we want to talk about is the camera on our last episode just stopped immediately after he finished the story. Like, for no reason. Yeah. There was still plenty of battery and there's still memory. So we have no idea why it just stopped, but stopped at a good time. Right after
perfect.
But you all said you wanted to talk about the Ouija board and stuff.
Yeah, we can start with the Ouija board shit that's been happening around here.
Go for it.
Pretty much, well, even before we started playing with the Ouija board, shit's been going on in this house. But
dude, one of the first things that happened to us was it was really windy, and the vents moaned.
Yeah. Oh, that was when it was just me and you that played it.
Yeah.
And it was really windy, and you just hear
We're fucking searching the house everywhere.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? Watch it not happen again. Alright, whatever, it's not happening.
It was the first time we moved in.
Jesus.
We'd never heard how windy it can get. And the house moans by itself. And
dude, the 2 days I stayed here before you all moved in.
Yeah.
The first night I moved in, I heard footsteps, but they weren't heavy. Like how you said you heard the ones that sounded like it was Josh walking around.
Yeah.
It was just light footsteps. But the only other, it was just me and Josh and Major.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, what the fuck? I thought someone else was in the house, and so I grabbed my AK-47 and I walked through the house because I was legit worried because it literally sounded like someone was in the living room.
Yeah.
But no one was there. And then after I went back to bed or back in my room, I didn't hear him again after that.
Mm-hmm.
But I legit heard him because I was reading, I didn't have the TV on or anything, and it was just
yeah. Me and her had the same experience once. Tyler was at work, and we're laying in bed, and then we knew the door didn't open, so it couldn't have been Josh. Mm-hmm. But it legit in the living room, we're just it was loud enough to wake us up from our nap, and it was footsteps.
The first thing I thought, and I said, I was like, "Is Josh home?" Because we would have heard, if those steps woke us up, we would have heard the door opening too, because that door is loud and squeaky and creaky.
Yeah.
It's... Even the cats, all the cats were in our room too. They were all laying with us, and even them were looking at the doorway.
Jeez.
Expecting something. It was just weird. And of course, it couldn't have been Tyler, it couldn't have been Josh, because they were both at work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I thought it was weird to hear Josh's footsteps, because I was it's 10 at night, he should be at work, because he goes to work at 2. And I was unless he got off early, he shouldn't be home.
Did you all check it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went outside. We didn't, or not outside, but out into the living room. And I was it sounded like they were right here, in this specific, between the TV and the couch.
Mm-hmm.
I was it's in this specific spot. It has to be right there.
And Josh didn't come home early?
No, he was still at work, and I think you texted him or something like that, or you said you were gonna.
Yeah, I think I texted him. Or did you come home or something? Because it was loud enough to wake us up.
And he was no, I didn't. And he was why?
Someone broke in.
Yeah.
Someone broke in just to walk around the house.
I'm gonna scare these bitches.
It's just I don't know, this house. I've never had so many weird shit happening.
You heard
you only lived at your parents' house.
Yeah, my parents.
You heard a baby cry, didn't you?
Yeah, man.
Or a girl cry.
He actually heard it before, and
Yeah.
we're playing game, and then I was playing Daisy, and I'm did Daisy add like new like noises like babies crying? And Tyler's like,
Not that I'm aware
Zach, I meant to tell you about that earlier, but I didn't want to scare you.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I've heard that already, like, but I didn't want to acknowledge it.
And like, I take off my headphones. I don't hear anything. So I don't even know what it was. It was just a baby crying.
Can we talk about the screams we heard coming from Tyler's room the one night?
Oh,
We heard, it sounded like it literally sounded like someone was screaming on the other side of the wall, and it was just me and Zach, and I was like,
loud.
it sounded like a muffled, but
Muffled?
it was like I don't know how to describe it. Like it was, you know how in like movies and stuff like that, they can make it seem like a scream is far away, but it's still loud.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded like that. Like
Okay.
like it wasn't muffled. Like you could hear though. It wouldn't sound like this. It sounded like but like quieter and sounded like it was far away, but still like it was on the other side of the wall.
Was it like a vicious scream? Like someone was getting like in pain? Or was it like a yell? Like
I think it was more of like a scared / pain.
like they
type
like
thing.
someone saw something scary and they're like, ah.
Tyler was-
Yeah, or it was either like that, like not that someone saw something that scared them, but like they were scared themselves, or that they were in pain, because that's what it sounded like to me.
It was Tyler.
It was Tyler.
It's just my memory film
He's just
color, guys.
He's just pretending it was a ghost.
It's just weird too, because like I've had it like a few times, 2 or 3 times.
And,
Like,
like,
I'll just wake up.
Tyler's been asleep every time.
Yeah, and I'll text him. I legit like the 3rd time I text him, I was like, "Dude, are you screaming?" He didn't text me until the next morning.
Because he was asleep when that happened.
Because
It
when I
was,
fall asleep,
he's dead asleep.
out.
Like,
unless a cat comes to my door and is sitting there with a high pitch.
He falls asleep like perfectly sitting up straight in the car.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Dude, that's me at work when I don't get enough sleep. I'm like sitting there processing stuff, and I'm just like, and then I hear like the siren of the GOH thing go, meh, meh.
Do you remember when we were doing the Ouija board and the fucking skateboard just moved?
oh my god, that genuinely had me scared, because none of the cats were near it. They were on the other side of the living room, and then we saw Mavis run, or one of the black cats run towards it, because they saw it move too, and they were like, "What's that?"
Yeah, we were all 4 of us were doing the Ouija board, and like we were doing it in the living room on the floor, and my back was to the front door, and me and him were skateboarding, and when we finished, like I just set my skateboard in the like right in front of the door. Out of nowhere, no cats around it. Like the door was closed. It wasn't wind. The skateboard just moves, and it like hits me in the back.
And it wasn't like it was like something had put force behind it and forced it to start.
It was
moving. It's not like it was like
like this. It was like
Yeah, and it had been sitting there for a while, and it had
Hours.
No movement.
No movement at all.
It just happened.
yeah, because we were playing. We were doing the Ouija board at like probably around 1 o'clock. Midnight.
That time,
and we had
probably.
finished skating at like 6 or something
Yeah.
before dark.
And we just had the bright idea to play with the Ouija board.
But it was moving enough to where like it made me like I heard it. I was like, "What is that?" And then like it hit me. And I was like, "The hell?"
See that I heard it, and I immediately looked over in the direction because I could hear it coming, and I was like, I just saw it hitting you. I didn't see if anything pushed it. I just saw it go into him, and you didn't turn around until it hit you.
Yeah.
Because I looked and I was like, oh, that. And I looked over at Zach, and we were all like, what just happened?
Dude, I just remember this one time. Because, like, we keep, like, Ziploc bags and stuff on top of the fridge. And, they just have sat up there for pretty much the whole time we've lived here. And my cat goes up there, and she never knocks them down or anything. She wasn't up there near it at all. It was nowhere near the edge. And one time, I think you were in the kitchen with me, and it just fucking slid right off the top of the fridge. And we were like, Buffy? Wait, she's not up there.
I don't
Like-
know if it was it me.
And
I
I
wasn't
don't
there.
remember.
you might have been there. Or maybe it was just me by myself. It might have been one of the times by myself. And like,
You're just talking to yourself.
the zip, yeah.
You're like,
I saw my reflection. I started talking to myself.
Did you see that, man?
The kitchen
The
window.
reflection's like, yeah, dog.
That's when you know you're on drugs.
And then I ran away because my reflection answered me.
Do you remember the times that we'd be like playing game and I'd be like, I'll be right back, I'm gonna get a drink. Like, I'll come out here and like Josh's door right there. It was open.
Yeah.
And it was pitch black in there. And I went back in. It was another like 2 hours and I came out for another drink. And the door was closed.
And the light was on. And the fan.
Yeah.
Because like he has it set up to where when you flip the switch,
It turns the light and
it
fan
turns
on.
the light and fan on.
Josh wasn't home. He was at work.
Again, because he works nights.
Yeah, and Zach was like, is Josh home? Because like my room's right out front of the house, so I always know when someone comes home, and I've memorized like the sound of like neighbors' cars and stuff. For some reason, it's
Then why
useless
did that
knowledge.
one time I walk in the house, no one acknowledged me for
Because I didn't even hear you come in. I'm not used to your.
It's a foreign vehicle.
Your vehicle's
Foreign
quiet.
vehicle. You don't have an old vehicle that's loud, okay?
And like we know when Josh is home because you can hear him bumping.
Or when he hits the lock button, it's like boop boop.
Yeah.
His car sounds very specific. Like it doesn't sound like any of the other cars. So like he comes home and I get woken up by that. I'm like, Josh.
2 in the
Joshua.
morning, he's just fucking blasting 21 Pilots as loud as he can. Speaking of Josh, dude, there was one time where it was when I was before my house burned down. I was legitimately so scared I had to call him to come over. Like,
Before your house burned?
yeah, it was probably like 2 years before the house burned down, and it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and so I'm sitting there in my room, laying on my bed. My cat's like laying like right next to me, and we're like I have the TV on, just couldn't sleep, and out of nowhere, like it's an LED TV, and whenever there wouldn't be signal, it'll just be a blue screen. But this night, out of nowhere, my TV just turns into static, like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, what the hell? Like it's never done that before. So I get up to turn it off, and I lay back down, and then my door, probably like 5 minutes later, my door just opens, like without the doorknob.
Like there wasn't any airflow that caused it?
No, like I mean, I always close my door, but even like, I mean, it's like just in a house, like there's no vents like aimed directly at the door to blow it in.
Oh my god.
And like the door just like literally just like it was like someone like pushed
Like
it
forceful?
open. Like it wasn't like a slow like typical horror movie like it was like like
Surprise.
Dad. So like that fucking freaked me out. So like I'm like frozen. Like I don't know what to do. Like I'm afraid to like get out of bed.
Yeah.
And then my cat, she's just like glaring at the door, like the entrance, like through the door into the hallway. She's like her fucking back is arched.
Her hair is all...
Yeah, but like she's not like meowing or anything, or like doing that like weird cat like
growl.
Yeah. And you know how like you see shadows like corner of your eyes sometimes. You'll be like, oh, what the heck was that? I literally saw a shadow like go in my field of vision, like across the hallway, like from where the kitchen is in the living room, like through the back of the house, like it's going towards the room next to mine. So I'm like, what the fuck? And then like after like I get up and I close the door, and then I got turned the TV back on, and the TV was like working again. And then probably about 30 minutes later, like I got like hungry, so I went out into the kitchen, but like when I like left my room, I like reached through the hallway, turned the hall light off, and then like when I got to the kitchen, like I reached around the wall, turned the kitchen light on.
Oh my god.
But my bedroom light like turned off. Like when I'm in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh my god, like I legit was scared. So like I just stayed in the kitchen, and I called your brother. 3 o'clock in the morning, like he answers. He's like, oh. I was like, dude, like, can you come over? Like, there's like weird crap happening right now. He's like, what's going on? And like I told him everything. He's like, yeah, I can come over, cause like he didn't work the next day.
Yeah.
And so he's like, stay on the phone until I get in my car. So, cause like where his brother used to live, it's like probably about 100-foot walk from the door to the car, like outside in the pitch black.
Yeah.
So he's just like, stay on the phone with me until I get in my car. So, you know, I'm like, all right. And then before he leaves, I hear like all these children's toys turn on and just like start like talking. One in particular was the Dora the Explorer one.
Yeah.
And it was like something like, do you want to have fun? And your brother's like, dude, do you hear that? I'm like, yeah, what the hell's going on? He's like, all of my brother's daughter's toys just turned on.
What the fuck?
And I'm like, dude, get over here quick. So he's like, I'm leaving now. Like, I'm coming over right now. So like he gets in his car and he's like, I'll see you in about 15-20 minutes. I'm like, all right. So we get off the phone and my first instinct was, he's dead. he's gonna die.
You transferred the demon through your phone.
Yeah, for like he's gonna get run off the road or something. He's just dead. But like he came over, and like we started talking about everything, and like did the whole time like I was seeing like shadows like in my like field of vision, and it was just freaking scary.
Yeah.
And then like it got so bad, like 4 o'clock in the morning, like we didn't sleep. 4 o'clock in the morning, like we called our preacher at that time. We're like, hey man, all this crap's happening. And he was like, would you like to come over? And we're like, yeah, I guess we can. And so we go over to my preacher's house at like 5 in the morning. And when we get there, they're like, Luke, only you can come in. They're like, Josh, stay here while we talk to Luke. And so I'm like, I look at Josh, and I'm like, let's just go back home. But I go in and then like I talk to him because I was like, genuinely thought they could help me, like give me like some advice or something.
Yeah. So
I go in and they're like, we know that a demon's following you. And I'm like, that's not good. And they're like, what have you been doing in your personal life to allow this to happen? I'm like, nothing. Like,
dang, they fucking blamed it on you.
Yeah. And then God, but they like they said a prayer for me and everything. And then like after that, like me and Josh left. But that whole interaction, that's for another podcast.
Yeah.
But dude, when we got back home, like there were still shadows. Like he was seeing them too. Like whenever like me and your brother would hang out, I'd be like, dude, do you see that? He'd be like, nah. But this time, like he's like, yeah, dude, I'm fucking seeing it. And God, dude, it's still like whenever I think about it, I'm like, fuck this.
Josh saved your life that night.
Yeah. Like, everything probably had, like, an explanation or something, except those fucking toys turning on at the same time. Like, that's what fucking got me. And it wasn't, like, just one where he couldn't have been, like, turn it on. Dude, do you hear that? It was, like, 15 different toys, like, all like,
at once.
He's, like, sitting there, like,
Yeah, I remember the toy bin here, like where it all was. I remember.
Like right in your living room next to the TV.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That's easily by far like the most scariest thing that's ever happened to me. I legit thought I was like gonna have to have an exorcism performed.
You remember the back to the Ouija board where we're playing it out here, and like you remember it was like
it was coming after me. It kept wanting to talk to me.
Yeah.
And like
T
Y L. All right, you want to talk to Tyler? Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I don't want. At one point, I was like, I don't want to talk to it anymore because it was like, I'm the angel of death.
Yeah, it was like spelling out shit like that. It was
the like war in heaven or whatever the hell.
So weird. And
something like that, and I was like,
fuck that.
Yeah.
And like, remember the time it was like we don't know anything really about you.
Yeah, I was
Your
going to
past
say
life.
this, dude.
And it's legit like it knows where you lived.
Yeah,
and only you knew that.
Because all right, when you play with a Ouija board, like everyone has that. It's like someone's moving in.
Yeah.
So we all searched on the internet to like what questions like could we ask, like so like if someone doesn't know, like they can't just guess it.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked a question. I was like, where was I born? And I've never told any of them where I'm born.
And
like,
yeah, I only recently became friends with Luke when I moved in here and I got to know him.
Yeah, and it's not like you're sitting there like with the boys, like, hey man, where were you born, dog? Like,
and Zach's not over here like, hey, you know, Luke, yeah, you haven't met him, but he lives here. He came from here.
He's born here.
His zip code, his phone number, his name.
But anyway, so like, I asked that, and I took my fingers off it because I wanted to see what would happen.
Yeah, so there was no way that he was like making it say it.
So I was like, because the whole time, I'm like, you guys are full of shit. Like, fuck you guys. Like, you're just fucking with me. And so I asked that question. It goes to the first letter. I'm like, okay, I could have just guessed it. Second letter, I'm like, okay. Third letter, I'm like, all right, what the fuck? It spells out the city where I was born, and I've never told any of them. Like, I've only known her for like a year. Like, I've known him for our whole lives, but I'm not like
my whole life, pretty much.
I'm not like Zach.
Yeah, you never.
I was born here, dog.
You're like I'm like 9 years old. Yeah, I was born here.
And I'm pretty.
You remember this? Where we played Ouija 11 years ago.
And then like the only one that could have possibly known it, but I don't think I ever told him, was I asked it what was because I count my first pet as my ferret Sway, and she had passed away from like health conditions and had to be put down. But I was like, all right, what was my first pet's name? SW. I was like, what the fuck? And I'm pretty sure I never told Zach, and no one else knew.
I didn't even know he had a ferret.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew you had a ferret, but I didn't know its fucking name.
Yeah. And because like we had gotten it from friends of the family, and like they couldn't take care of it anymore where they were moving, so we're like, sure, we'll take care of it. But they failed to tell us that it had any like any health things wrong with it, and she started losing hair.
Anal fissures.
She just randomly started losing fur, even though she like acted like she was perfectly fine. And then we decided to get it checked out because she acted a little weird. And they're like, oh yeah, she doesn't really have long to live. You can try and like see if she can get better, like by feeding her this. Like gave us medicine to put into the soup and everything, because like it was like some type of like duck soup or whatever the hell, I don't know.
Duck soup.
Some weird thing to make it so that she'll eat it easier.
Dude, tell about when you got scratched.
We were sitting in the living
It
room.
was while we were playing, right?
Well, okay, because we got done playing because Josh was coming home, remember? And Josh, like, we heard his car pull up and we were like, fuck, we gotta stop before Josh comes in because Josh has a problem with Ouija boards.
And we got something to say
we'll talk about that some other episode.
We're gonna get up on here.
Yeah.
But so
Josh, we're coming for you, bro.
we were we had just like picked up the Ouija board and put it away. We keep the planchette separate from the Ouija board when they're not in use. But
I remember.
Yeah.
Cause we didn't say goodbye and end the session properly.
Because we had to clean it up so quickly. Because when Josh comes home, he gets right out of his car and comes straight to the door. He doesn't sit in his car at all. But we cleaned it up and we put everything away. I don't remember us not saying goodbye. I thought we did, but I don't know. But we cleaned it up really fast and we put it away. And then we were sitting watching something on the TV in the living room, and I had to go use the bathroom. So I went and used the restroom. And when I came back, I was wearing a tank top when this happened, like not a spaghetti strap, but like a tank top. Like the straps are like this, and like so this part of my arm and back was exposed. And when I came back from the bathroom, we were sitting there for a little bit, and it started to like burn. Because you know how like if you get a cat scratch and then you touch it, it burns like that.
Cat scratch fever.
But like no, but like it was literally like a scratch, and I was like, Zach, can you see if there's like something on my shoulder? And there was literally like 3 claw marks going like across my shoulder like this, like at least this long, going across my shoulder and into my arm over here. And Zach took a picture, which he'll probably
I have the picture.
He'll put it up now. But it like I was like, Zach, is there anything back there? And you were like, holy shit. There's
it was like, legit. I think it was like 3 marks.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just like a light. It was like someone had gone.
It was fucking red.
It was red and it was raised. Because you know how if you get scratched hard enough, it raises the skin because it gets irritated. Like I could, because that's why I wrote, when I ran my fingers over, I was like, Zach, can you check if there's something there? Because it felt like it was hot and it was burning and it was raised. And I was like, that's not good. I was like, well, that's not good. So I asked Zach to look at it. But it was like, it was scratched for a good like day or two. It didn't fade immediately.
The thing is, like, I'm pretty sure, like, us 3, like, we actually, like, believe there's, like, something.
Yeah.
But, like, you were, like, the least one about the Ouija board, like, it's not really real.
Well, okay, I think Ouija boards are different from, like, other forms of, like, contacting the afterlife. Like, Ouija boards, you can't play it alone because then you would be liable to influence. And then if you play it with someone else, they're liable to influence for you because they want you to believe in it, kind of thing. And so, like, there's no way to guarantee that it is something from the other side. Even though it's, like, the thing where it's like, oh, I'm the only one that knows this. There's no way that someone else could know this. Facebook is a thing. If you put your hometown in Facebook, I know you don't have social media.
I don't have Facebook.
I know you don't have social media, but it could have slipped in one conversation at some point and someone could remember it. Like, it's not, unless you have covered up your past with the like government trails, covered up your past.
I redacted all my birth certificates.
Just everything is blacked out. I want to go back to the scratch though, because the 3 scratches, I don't know, a lot of people don't know the reason why 3 is important is because it mocks the Holy Trinity of Bible. Like, I don't know what the fucking thing.
You just do it again.
What the fuck?
Coincidentally, right when Brittany started talking about the Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
But we think it's something with the camera.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna go talk about another Ouija board experience.
Go for it, dog.
There was one time you were there. We're having like a party at my parents', but they weren't there, and we're just there.
Yeah.
We're there because like my dog's there and stuff. We're like letting him out. And we decided to stay the night there, and we're just like drinking and just having a good old time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like weird shit has happened there before, and like I feel like something is legit following me,
dude.
which the stuff I heard about my family is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
We might talk about in another episode. I just feel like something's following me. And it's like legit. Causing problems with my life.
Yeah, me and your brother have had like long conversations about it.
It's weird. I don't know how else to.
And your mom too, a couple times.
She's terrified of Ouija boards. Like,
I don't fucking blame her.
What's up?
I remember one of the first times I spent the night. Not the first time, maybe the second or third time, because we met over online playing Halo Reach.
Yeah.
And like our parents agreed to meet halfway, and then like I went back up the mountain with him and his mom, I think. Yeah. And I remember one night, because I would sleep out on the couch, because at first I was like, I I ain't gonna cuddle with this dude.
Dumbass.
But
Yeah, I'm cute.
But then after a while, I was like, I don't care. And but I was like, oh shit, I see you guys got cameras like, you know, on your perimeter. And one night, I saw something like a shadow go across, and I was like, dude, what the hell is that? And like I got Zach to go out there and look at it. He's like, dude, what is that? And it went to static, and we were like,
yeah, it was just randomly like lose connection.
You want to go play some Minecraft?
Yeah, I remember me and your brother, we'd fucking spend hours just looking at these cameras. Like,
you see some weird shit on there.
But you were saying about you're playing Ouija board.
Yeah, we brought the Ouija board over, and it was me, you, both my brothers and his wife, and we're all there, just we're playing board games and shit. And then at night we're like, let's play with the Ouija board. Like, usual thing, we just like think somebody's moving it. Nothing really weird happened until like later it started saying some weird like cryptic stuff. Nobody knew what was going on. It was just putting out random letters left and right. And it did say Zozo, which is supposed to be something bad. It's happened to us before.
Yeah, it happened to us.
And you look it up, Zozo is like a common thing with a Ouija board. But after that, we know the rules to like break off connection with Zozo, and we did so. But like, I just like kept feeling like we're sitting in the kitchen, you know, like on the deck, like that window there, the door there.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like somebody was just staring at me from the window. Mm-hmm. And so I kept eyeballing it, like it's there. And then like suddenly you remember the dogs.
Yeah, the dogs
ran downstairs
and started
barking. They start barking at nothing.
In the basement, they were just randomly went ape shit.
Yeah. It's just weird.
God.
Like, I have so many other stories, but I just want to save them for another episode.
Shit. Man, there was one time, it was again before my house fire. I was in a different bedroom. It was the one, like, next to, because it was, like, all the way back in the corner. Mm-hmm. And, so, like, it's about 2 a.m. And, my door opens up again. But this time it was, like slow. Mm-hmm. So I'm, like, probably just, like, something. But my dad was asleep, and my cat was with me. So I'm like, whatever. And then, like, my cat gets off my bed, and she just goes into my closet. And she's just, like, staring into my closet. And, like, my closet, like, it didn't have any doors on it. It was just kind of, like, it was, like, in the wall, mm-hmm. like, in between the 2 walls that separates the bedroom. And, so she's, like, just staring at it. Because, like, she usually just goes in there and lays down. Because, like, I don't know, it's dark or whatever. But she's just staring at it, like, sitting, like, just not moving, just locked on. So I'm like, Eva, what are you doing, girl? And she's like, didn't even like hear me. She's just staring at it. I'm like, Eva, what are you doing? Staring, doesn't move. So finally I'm like, I clap. I'm like, Eva, and like she looks over, and then she just like looks back, and then she stands up, and then she just starts hissing into my closet, like fucking like she's about to like go to town on something.
Yeah. I'm
like, Eva? And so like she did like that scared cat thing again. She like hunched up and her like freaking fur's going like crazy, and she's like hissing, and like after like a minute of her doing this, I'm like, Dad, can you come in here? Like he comes in the room. He's like, it's fucking 3 a.m. My dad just has like whitey tighties on. He's like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, you scared me.
Scare me.
But like I told him like what Eva was doing. He's like, I got work in the morning. So I'm like, well, I was like, I didn't know, like, she's never done this before.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, well, if she keeps doing it, waking me up, we'll take her to the 24-hour bed or something. I'm like, all right. So like he like closes the door and leaves, goes back into his room, and like she cuddled up with me again. Then like 10 minutes later, she like goes back into the closet, and she's like, it's like she was like looking for something, because it's like a pretty big closet.
Mm-hmm.
She was like looking for something, like she was like in the corners, like frantically like doing this. I'm like, Eva, what the fuck are you doing? And then like she like I don't know, like she was like looking in the corner, and then you know how like if you have like a toy with an animal and like it gets their attention, they like do that drop thing,
yeah,
like to catch it or something. Like she did that, and then she did a 180 and it like went to the other side of the closet, and then she started hissing again. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So like I got the hell out of my room,
yeah.
and I just went into the living room and like slept on the couch. But like, dude, I didn't know what the hell was happening. Like, maybe a fucking bug or something, or a big ass spider was in my closet.
Just trying to get that shit.
Dude, it was nuts. But just before my dad came into my room, the way she was just locked on, like not moving, just staring, like that freaked me out more than her hissing. Just because like she's never done either.
Yeah.
Like she usually like just she'll look over and then she'll be like, like, and that's it. But God, dude, like I didn't feel safe in like any room in my house.
Jeez. Just want to end it there, or you got something else? Alrighty.
Keep it sleazy.
I'm horny.
Hey, horny, I'm dead.